Hello and welcome. My name is Kim with Lotus Within Yoga, and thank you for joining me here on day 24 of my 30 days of yoga. Today's class is going to be a really good, juicy head to toe stretch, doing the whole body. No props are necessary, but if you have them, you can always have them nearby, no worries, and you can grab your stuff and then we'll get started. We'll begin today's class in a seated position. So however that is comfortable for you, I prefer cross-legged, but if you rather be up on your shins or sitting on your feet or whatever works for you, you can always sit on a block. Yeah, so we'll just find a nice comfortable seat and we'll start with some neck rolls. So we're going to take our right ear over to our right shoulder. Maybe rolling those shoulders back and down. Try not to wear your shoulders as earrings. And on our exhale, we're going to just slowly drop the chin down to the chest, stretching in through the back of the neck. And then inhaling as you bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And then we're just going to kind of flow back and forth with that with our own breath. So on your exhale, you can bring the head forward and inhaling right ear to right shoulder. Breath. And then as you exhale, chin to chest, inhaling, bringing the other ear to the other shoulder. Stopping for a breath. And then just continue on with your own breath cycle, knowing that you can stop and hold at any point in time if you're finding any little extra tension, anywhere that you feel needs a little bit more love and TLC. Just noticing how the body feels. Today's affirmation that we'll be working with is I have the freedom and power to create a life I love. Okay, just go back and forth again, another round. Beautiful. Gently, you can bring the head back up to neutral. Let's take a little shoulder rolls, rolling them back and down the body. Maybe feeling any crunchies. I know my shoulders sure are making all sorts of crunchy noises. Go ahead and take those shoulders the other way. All right, let's come into a nice side bend from here. So taking your right arm, sweeping it up and over to the left, really creating a nice stretch through the right side of the body. I have the freedom and power to create a life I love. Beautiful. You can allow your inhale to bring you back up through center, but now we're going to take our right hand to our left knee and start to twist the body over to the left. Really engaging through the core and keeping that nice tall spine. Crown of the head reaches to the sky. And exhale as you come back through center. Now we're going to take our left arm up and over into a nice side bend. Not holding any extra tension in the neck. Gently pressing yourself back up. We're going to take left hand to right knee as we twist over to the right. Exhale, come back through center. Perfect. So let's go ahead into all fours, tabletop pose, hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Go through some cat-cows as you inhale, dropping the belly, tailbone raises. And exhaling as you press into the mat, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin in, rounding the spine. Go ahead at your own pace. really getting in touch with your breath, noticing how you're feeling without any judgment. And one more round. And we'll come into a low lunge from here. So bring your right foot forward in between your hands and start to set yourself up. You want to make sure that you have a wide enough base. You're not, standing on a trick wire or anything like that. Give yourself a good hip width distance, a space in the hips. And when you come up, I want you to point that tailbone down to the ground and then lunge forward. Left hip draws forward, right hip draws back, keeping them nice and level and center. Hands can come to heart center, or maybe if you can keep your shoulders away from your ears, maybe rising up, keeping your arms approximately shoulder width distance apart. And breathe. On your exhale, bring those hands back down, and we're going to press into that half splits. Nice hamstring stretch. Peel those toes up towards your face. And maybe start to lean over that right leg. Doesn't need to be stick straight. You really don't want to be locking that knee joint. Nice gentle bend is absolutely fine. And on your exhale, you can start to bend back in through that right leg. We're going to plant our left hand roughly underneath our shoulder and start to twist open to the side. And then maybe with your right hand reaching back, you can bend through that back leg, maybe grabbing a hold of the toes. Using a yoga strap is always a really good way if the toes feel like they're just a little bit out of touch and out of reach. And exhale, coming back through center. Take a couple cat-cows, flush that out. And when you're ready, we'll do that sequence on the other side. So this time taking our left foot forward, knee goes over the ankle, tailbone tilts down, pointing towards the ground, and then lunging forward. Hands can be on your thigh, you can have them on your waist, you can have them at heart center, or raising them up to the sky, just making sure those shoulders are staying down and back. I want you to have a nice broad chest. On your exhale, you can frame the foot, pressing back into that half split, straightening through that left leg. Toes peel towards your face. And start to fold over the leg. I have the freedom and power to create the life, that I love. One more inhale here. Go ahead and bending back in through that left leg. We're going to plant that right hand underneath the shoulder. Hand comes to the knees. You start to twist the body open. And if you're looking for a little bit more, you can take that left hand, reaching it to the back of the mat, bending through that right knee, and maybe holding onto those toes. And you can cause a little bit of tension between the hand and the foot. I'm kind of pulling the foot into me at the same time as using my foot to pull my arm away, if that makes any sense. One more big breath here. Try not to slingshot your foot down. You kind of just want to be able to let go and then bring it down with control. Come back to tabletop pose. And from here, we're going to go into melting heart. So start to walk your hands forward until your chest starts to come down to the ground or the mat. Maybe this is a great place where you can use blocks. Maybe placing it under your forehead. Your hips stay over your knees. And you're going to imagine like you're going to press your armpits down into the mat. And staying in tune with those beautiful, nourishing breaths is your guide to tell you if you are pushing yourself too far. Holding your breath means you might need to back out of the pose ever so slightly. If your forehead is down on the mat, you can gently raise it up. We're going to come into Sphinx from here. So we're going to straighten through the legs, bringing the hip bones down onto the mat, keeping your elbows roughly underneath your shoulders as you peel the heart up. I'm going to put some pressure on the tops of the feet, pressing into the mat. Now, if this feels like a lot of pressure on your low back, go ahead and start to walk those elbows out farther. And that will just decrease the intensity on the low back. On the lumbar spine, that lower part of our spine, this is actually the natural curve of the low back. So this is really a nice reset, just to help guide it back into the natural position it should be in. One more big breath here. You can start to bring your elbows out to the sides as you lay your forehead down on your hands for just a second. Sometimes that can feel a little intense coming out of, so just give yourself the space and the grace. And we're going to press ourselves into child's pose. So go ahead, take those knees nice and wide as you bring the hips back towards the heels and walk the hands forward. I have the power and freedom to create a life I love. All right, from here, we're just going to go and take it onto our backs. So whatever you need to do to get there, come on down. Move my mic to the side here. All right, bending in through the right knee, hugging it in towards the chest. You're going to take it into your left hand as you cross over the body, coming into a nice recline twist. Maybe your arms are in a T shape or cactus, keeping both shoulders down and grounded into the mat. And on your exhale, start to come back through center. This time bending your left knee, bringing it in towards your chest, extending through the right. Take your hand, or your knee, sorry, into your right hand and bring it across the body. Nice little twist. Shoulders down and grounded. One more big inhale and exhale here. And start to bring your knees back through center, bending, hugging them in towards you. Take a knee in each hand, sorry, as you bring them wide, as if you were to tuck those knees into your armpit. Maybe right here is exactly where you feel like you need to be. Just make sure that tailbone is trying to stay curled down as much as possible. If you're looking for a little bit more, coming into happy baby, you're going to take the soles of the feet up to the sky, keeping a nice generous bend in through the knees. Maybe the hands come to the outer edge of your feet, or you can take your two peace fingers into your toes. Personally, I like to hold to the outer edge of my foot. And again, we're dealing with that little bit of tension where we're pulling down on our feet and maybe slightly pressing up a little bit at the same time, our foot into the hand. And on your exhale, you can release and take up as much space as feels good for you. We're going to do our final resting posture of Shavasana, taking up space. Allow the feet to flop over to the side. Palms shine to the sky. Shoulders stay tucked and under the body. Finding softness through the face, your jaw. Give yourself a moment of surrender. Gently bringing your awareness back to your surroundings. As you wiggle through the fingers and the toes, rolling out through the wrists and the ankles. You take your arms overhead for a big good morning stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug, a little squeeze. And rolling to one side as you press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. All right. Thank you again for joining me here for my 30 Days of Yoga Challenge. We are in the last, 7 days now. So that means you have 6 more practices. And if you've enjoyed it, please leave me a comment, share it with your friends, please subscribe, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Thank you. Namaste.